possible. And, well, this man packs a lot of StarCraft in it as well. In the bottom left, our Red Terran player, represented by Mouse Sports, is HeroMarine.
He packs the universe within him. He's so large. And at the top right-hand side, it is his opponent, the Protoss player for Blazer. It's Krystianer.
Even Krystianer tries. Like it feels like there's nothing that really catches Gabe off. But if you had to pick one thing, you'd maybe just like to try and see him do. What do you think?
Disruptor drops.
Yeah, just something like really wild that gives you
something that exactly. Something that's just like so far out there and so like different. I guess it's not like it's never been seen before, but it's so far removed from the meta that at least it has a chance of catching Gabe off guard, and it's not bad. Like I think it's a decent way to play.
Yeah. It is one of those things where it's like you need something that's like kind of crazy enough to work, but yeah, right. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's like even then, it's like, really, you're gonna try disruptor just, but like, yeah, why not? Because the standard doesn't work with Gabe. He knows the early game so well. I mean, sometimes then one of the best things you can do is just make the early game not like all of the other early games, and just kind of take away his information, his knowledge, which is one of the biggest things about Gabe's TVP. So, yeah, I just something crazy. I know that's like oftentimes the case when it's the underdog versus the favorite, but like in this case more so than usual. Like just do something a little bit crazy because I feel like you can do very well for yourself then.
Yeah, most definitely give yourself the best shot that you're gonna find. And yeah, we have Krystianer here already looking to populate both of his gases, currently boosting out this Adept to try and mitigate the effects of this Reaper. Already a nice wall up against the Reaper as well, which is going to have to enter through the natural base. Not going to find an angle there as the Adept already shades on forward to protect the probe. Not going to have to readjust on that front. And is doing a good job of chasing the Reaper, but actually Gabe knows that that's going to give him an opening potentially to kind of bypass the Adept. Goes into the main and gets a decent scout. Did he get a full scout? He did.
Yeah, getting to see everything that's going on here early is great. Of course, he's Stargate. And you just know Gabe is one of these guys that can have absolutely a great time punishing someone who goes Stargate early as well. So let's see. Double Reaper going to hop in and obviously looking for maybe just appropriately. The Devs kind of took a moment to back it up because they're probably afraid of a Hellion in the natural. But now you're taking even more damage from these Reapers, and this is the damage you just cannot take against HeroMarine. I know we really kind of, maybe go overboard sometimes saying about how good his early game is, but it is. Like, he is so good at capitalizing on stuff like this. 3 probes go down, you still have a Reaper alive. Do you feel like this Hellion probably could have done a little bit better, honestly? But, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, still, it's fantastic damage, and you can't complain about that.
Yeah, one of the prongs could have definitely done better. Maybe just retreat the Hellion when you see that the Adept split. And that could have been much worse for Krystianer as well. I thought he was going to complete the Shade with the first 2 Adepts, and then the first 2 Reapers were just going to end the game, so... At least we have an ongoing game. Gabe's once again going to find his way into the main and pick off an extra probe. The Stalker will have to readjust as the Adepts are now on the other side of the map. We'll see if they are able to accomplish anything, as the mine is going to be there, but will be spotted by the Adepts. Now, the next step in the plan for Krystianer here is going to be this Oracle, as the Adepts will shade on forward onto the Marines. The medevac will make its way here to save those. But actually, it's a little bit preoccupied, the Cyclone. So we'll not get onto the Oracle right away, and 2 SCVs do end up falling.
It's nice, right? It's something, Krystianer needs to bounce back in some way. Let's see how he deals with the pressure, though. I mean, this is where HeroMarine pops off usually. When he starts going across the map, he's got a Viking building behind this as well, so absolutely looking for more anti-air. He's got a tank on the way, and Krystianer right now, it's a Stalker and an Oracle. Like, yes, he's got 3 gateways. He needs to start warping in with them. He finally starts up a couple of extra Stalkers. Even that is going to be kind of tough here. That Oracle doesn't have a ton of energy to aid with either. And of course, you've got that follow-up as well. And I love the Widow Mine Bower in here. Just try and bait some units into that mine. Although, please don't lose the back. That doesn't feel good. Okay. Well, that was a disaster for HeroMarine.
That's huge. That's massive. I mean, really well done for Krystianer. Actually spots the shadow of the Widow Mine as well, which he hadn't seen otherwise. So very, very well done. Very good cleanup. And now a very strong early game for Krystianer after getting rid of that. I mean, if we look at the units lost tab, it's mostly going to be that drop that's going to be displayed there.
Yeah, Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things as well where I feel like HeroMarine's like, oh, because everything else felt so set up around probably like getting all of these units together, really getting something going here. And now it's like, well, what? You've got a Viking that's trying to sneak into a mineral line. There's no way that this was the intended use
Oh,
of this Viking. As it
it's
goes
cool.
down as well. Krystianer is just catching everything. What a fantastic start. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is absolutely taking away one of Gabe's biggest strengths as well, right? Like, now Gabe can't hit you with a terrifying timing because he's been losing all of his stuff.
Yeah, and I absolutely love this from Krystianer as well because, I mean, playing a little bit of potentially his reputation as well, right? Like he could be going for some sort of all-in. Instead, instantly drops the third. And really, Gabe, I mean, he has used most of the units that would have given him any semblance of map control are dead, are in that unit loss tab that we saw, right? Like there's no Reapers out, there's no Hellions, there's no Medevac. And now there isn't a Viking either, so he's not going to be working with much information. This is going to look threatening for him. He's going to be in panic mode, and little does he know, his opponent's already getting ahead in the economic front as well. So beautiful, beautiful sights here from Krystianer to start this match.
Stalkers blink down to the low ground, just going to be having our Medevac, Marines, Marauders all continuing through as Krystianer looking for some openings. He is somewhat running out of time to maybe get something crazier done. He blinks in. I mean, you lose multiple Stalkers for this, but Gabe feels like he needs to pull the SCVs for a bit. We'll get a replacement siege tank set up now. I mean, HeroMarine in a little bit is going to be so close to having those upgrades that will go such a long way for him. So, yeah, last few moments, I suppose, before he has the bio upgrades, and then he'll be able to do so much better, of course.
Yeah, continuing with the tags as well as Krystianer, so he knows what angle is feasible. He's gonna choose this tank, but actually misses the first focus fire, which is gonna cost him a couple of extra stalkers now to this team bio, which is gonna chase the stalkers on the retreat. Blink is now available again, so the stalkers can micro and maybe trade for a couple of Marines before disengaging. That's exactly what's gonna happen. A little bit of an extra stim there on the side of HeroMarine is going to serve to drain more of that medevac energy, which is going to be rendered useless. So he's going to need a couple of more of those, but he has them on the way. Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, getting some picks here still as we do see HeroMarine starting to move out a little bit. 30cc start behind this extra barracks continuing to come through as well. Just getting all of this set and established as we do have ourselves a Temple Archives in production from Krystianer. I mean, he definitely knows he needs something to follow all of this up with as well, splash damage-wise. So, going to opt for that Temple Archives and a bit of a faster storm than usual, I would imagine, is going to be on the way out from Krystianer. He does like the kind of fast storm, and I would imagine he does go storm rather than just adding on Archons, because I feel like just the Archons doesn't really do much for him. Like, he's not in danger of an attack because he's done so well here with the aggression, so he has time to get to the storm.
Yeah, Krystianer has stopped probing now at 62. Now resumes, but there have been gaps in this probing where it feels like he could have gotten to here a little bit faster than he did, and he could have continued to accrue an advantage, maybe take a fourth or something of the Lexus. Well, gonna pick off a tank though on aggression, and where he is paying attention, he has been fantastic. So let's see if that's gonna be enough.
Absolutely, man. Just aggression around the map. And just staying on the map very nicely as the medevacs get caught by the Stalkers. The Stalkers don't have a way to kill them off. Great quick response from HeroMarine. If he was a moment later, he would have lost one full medevac at the very least, that's for sure.
That would have been one of the strangest moves ever, because he knew where the Stalkers were and he knows where what the pathing is. So those Stalkers were always going to be there. And yeah, I mean, he could have punished himself effectively by running those medevacs in. But maybe he was looking to catch those Stalkers with the medevacs instead. Not quite sure, but now he's going to be able to secure his third HeroMarine is. So the game kind of stabilizing here, and the supply actually favoring Big Gabe somehow.
Yeah, it's HeroMarine. It's the probes, right? Like, you should have been up like 70 workers already. And like, yeah, I mean, you just should have had more as the Protoss players. We come through the center. Resources lost has been kind of even as well. And then when you look at the income graph, Krystianer's only just started to mine more. Oh, this is bad, man. He's going to recall some Zealots into this fight at least. There is an Archon here too.
He's just dead.
Is he just dead?
This is just... I mean, okay, here come the Zealots. He's going to hold. He's going to hold. So that's good. The Zealot flank is here, but that looked very scary for a second here. Now the medevacs are going to reposition onto the third base. At the same time, HeroMarine is going to bring in mines into the natural and the main both. Stalkers available with their blink, but will not be able to pursue just yet. Now it comes off cooldown. The Widow Mine will get dropped and will not get taken down. So 6 additional probes go down, and a cannon is needed on top of that. Now income advantage, as it's shown, is in favor of HeroMarine. So yeah, I mean, this fall apart a little bit faster than I thought it would. Thought this was looking fantastic for Krystianer to snowball the advantage, but it just really shows the caliber of player that Big Gabe is and why we give his macro and his ability to just produce stuff so much credit, right? Like what's going on the screen sometimes doesn't seem as relevant when your opponent is just flawless behind it.
This is where you see that kind of difference in, hey, this guy's top 4 in Europe, and you're kind of, you know, trying to challenge a little bit still in Europe, right? And that's definitely, like I say, just the mechanics and the consistency, and Gabe has had it in this game. And, well, Krystianer, his second time, he's not going to be able to stop the run into the natural, and there's a bunch of Widow Mines he has to set off. He misses the first blink, so he loses a bit. He does finally have Storm finishing. He didn't go to Storm as quickly as I initially suggested he might. He's going to lose all the probes in this natural. He is killing SCVs as well, though. It's just who's going to keep it the first.
Yeah, this was not the worst trade in the world for Krystianer, but he still has to deal with it. Now the medevacs will get loaded in and move to the third again. This seems to be kind of like a set piece for Big Gabe, something that he just likes doing. Now the medevac's out of boost, though, so he has to be really careful. Maybe one of them will fall if Krystianer can blink onto them, and he will, but not really falling there. Blink of cooldown there. Maybe could have saved those.
Yep, just going to be seeing the workers killed here. I mean, now Krystianer has a worker lead. That's what we've kind of been saying. He kind of needed this entire time, right? Get to that worker lead that Protoss typically sits at. So now he actually gets it. Will he be able to do something with it? He's going to clean out these couple of mines. Obviously, Gabe about to finish up +1 armor as well, so we'll have an upgrade lead with the +2 attack in play. So you have high templars and storms, and of course that's something Gabe's not currently set to deal with because he's playing with no ghosts just yet.
Krystianer, will he just close out the game here? He can drop the Templar. The storm is going to be huge. And this is a lot of zealots. That army is now bruised up and on the retreat. That is a lot of... No! The Widow Mines will actually kill all of the medevacs of Big Gabe. And this is now looking terrible for the German, as the Polish player here is going to push his advantage, going to continue to chase this army. It's so low, I wouldn't mind a second blink forward, and he's going to go for that. So Krystianer, I mean, looking for the upset, now in the best position that he's been all game to get it, Wordy.
I mean, absolutely. That Widow Mine was like, I feel like, no, all the zealots are dead, but then I'm like, wait, he blew up all the medevacs too. So that was great. I mean, this Storm, Storm and a half on these SCVs. Let's go. 20 SCVs down. Storms in the bios. No healing available. Archon's going to tank a couple mine shots coming up this ramp. Nope, the Zealots will do it. So the Archons are still here. And Krystianer is walking up this natural ramp for an upset right now as we just come along and continue through. That's going to be seeing this army continue to take some heavy hits. And this is just going to be...
Wow.
Way too much. GG's Krystianer with the first game victory. Oh my god,
I mean, we were seeing...
crazy.
That is absolutely bananas. I mean, Krystianer very happy about that. He should be. Again, there are some gaps on the mechanics, on the pro production. The tactics were good, though. I mean, double zealot ramp-bys here and there. And Big Gabe, I mean, committing onto the natural where it looked like he had very strong openings, but Krystianer always had the units, always had the zealot flanks there to kind of like push him back. And it felt like he had to win that game twice, but he does it. And as a result, he actually wins the game, right? Like no chance for a comeback there towards the end for Big Gabe.
No, absolutely none. Just having the storms available at the end as well, right? Being able to storm on a lot of those bio units, and those medevacs getting blown up was huge because maybe with a bit of healing, like I think unlikely, but maybe with a bit of healing, right, it becomes a little bit possible again. But yeah, wow, absolutely fantastic stuff, and we're left with a 1-0 lead to the Underdog. And well, if Krystianer beats HeroMarine, that would actually be wild because, like, I mean, just on top of everything else that's happened today. Like, I know I've already talked about favorites and who's favored and whatever, but, like, to me, it really is just not a series that HeroMarine is kind of meant to lose, sure, but, like, even realistically loses. It's like he's won one match once upon a time in ESL Open Cup back in 2021, but all the other results are just so one-sided for HeroMarine. And when I think back to the games I've cast of these two, the games are typically one-sided as well for HeroMarine, right? Like, that's what I'm really, like, kind of shocked at. So... yeah, great start. Obviously, if, you know, that's the way to do it. He just kind of killed everything that HeroMarine had. And that's kind of on Gabe, maybe getting a little bit too creative when he didn't need to. I mean, even those first Reapers, they did great, but maybe could have even done more because then he kind of pulled the Hellion around. He ran a Reaper out. Maybe could have just had 2 or 3 more probes. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Data C up next, though. Big macro map. And in a way, I actually feel like Krystianer might not mind the fact that this is a big macro map all that much.
Yeah, for sure not. I mean, yeah, like you were saying, the first 2 Reapers, I think they did good. The Hellion was unnecessarily sacrificed, But even though Krystianer was making all the right moves on screen, it felt like HeroMarine was catching up just fine. At some point, 20 supply ahead, runs into the natural. It looked great for him at some points. But that solo run by that wasn't on screen towards the end was really, I think, what did him in. Because when we looked at the aftermath, yeah, we saw on screen Krystianer losing some probes, but HeroMarine had lost like twice the amount of SCVs to those pilots.
And I thought they were going to do well, but that well? All right, well, let's go into game number 2. In the bottom left-hand side, we'll start things off with the red Terran player. Looking to bounce back, it is HeroMarine.
And on the top right-hand side, leading the series 1-0, looking to cause yet another upset in this season, it is Krystianer.
Today has actually just been wild. Obviously, the games have been fantastic, long, back and forth. The upsets are obviously very real. It's just been a bit of a crazy day so far, Cats.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy start to the season altogether. It's good to see a lot of these players rising. I like it when it's competitive like this, when it's difficult to predict. And yeah, I mean, this would be perhaps the biggest of all upsets. I'm trying to think back to the upsets so far, but yeah, this one would be a huge one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll see. Krystianer is going to scout HeroMarine here relatively early on. HeroMarine has not done that yet. We'll leave that job to the Reaper. So, yeah, Krystianer is going to see just a single gas. That's an important piece of information for him. And we'll see the timing of the command center dropped as well on the high ground. So HeroMarine not taking any chances. And yeah, Krystianer will just chill.
Krystianer will just chill. Yeah, I mean, pretty just, like you say, not giving Krystianer any opportunity, just playing very safe. Gabe should know that he can, kind of play like this, right? And he should still be favored, but it's something that Gabe doesn't usually have to do. And because he's obviously so used to kind of hitting nice, crisp timings, this is something that will take away from some of those timings.
This is interesting.
Krystianer is really going to build something on the bottom, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, after seeing the CC on the high ground as well, so what could that be?
YOLO Robo, yeah.
Okay, very interesting, right? Like you scout, you see the safe CC tucked in, you still go for this.
Because I guess the timing of it isn't necessarily based on you kind of breaking on one base, because you have the second base behind. So if you can contain him, you still have your base, right? Yeah. So it has to be something built around that. And I mean, it feels like you got to build an immortal, though, right? Like there's no point proxying for the prism, so
yeah,
let's go and see what we can do.
Yeah, will it be one immortal, two immortals, immortal into prism? We will find out soon. The Reaper's looking for it. We'll find it by the looks of it.
Yeah, what a scout from HeroMarine. He's just so aware of what can come his way. And like I say, now that you know about it, how much danger can Krystianer really kind of create with this? Immediately, Gabe's like, oh, maybe I send the Reaper Hellion across the map, but actually brings them back and starts chipping at that pylon. It is an immortal first. We expected that.
Oh, with the Marines, will it pop up?
I feel like he hit the Robo a couple times there. He's gonna go.
Yeah, the Reaper's just kind of. I guess he's looking for the reinforcing stalker. Or
he's looking for the probe.
The probe, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the right call as well because he gets it. The Adept shows up, so now he's just gonna say, well, I'll kill off the Adept instead. He's gonna get the other one. What a grenade that was, bopping the Adept in toward these units. But here's the Immortal now. Immortal should be able to stand up for itself at least and protect this pylon. And another Immortal queued up already. So 2 Immortals, but we're already going into a Twilight back at home. This game's just crazy in itself. This game alone is kind of living up to the hype of the rest of the day so far.
Yeah, this is more or less what I expected for Krystianer to have to do in order to take a map from HeroMarine. That first game really wasn't the way that I was thinking. Krystianer would get a victory just in that mid game, heading into the later stages of the game, just with good multitasking, good reacting to what HeroMarine was doing. Satch.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, do we need the second Immortal? It's obviously very nice for defense, right? And he's got nowhere near blink. The gates are very slow to come on in. I mean, this feels like a HeroMarine push right now. No, you just go across the map. It feels like everything's gone wrong from Krystianer, and that this should be a way for HeroMarine to just come across the map and potentially just, end it. I mean, maybe not right away, but he's building a Lib too, which definitely suggests some kind of aggression. Either the Lib's going to aid the push at the front, or it's going to distract for the push of the front. Either way, this has got to be a setup to go across the map.
Yeah, tanks already unsieged. Now the units start moving out, so great call there. And yeah, it looks very much like a HeroMarine timing, especially with that third going up. It's going to make things even more complicated for Krystianer to try and muster the amount of units that he's going to need. The Viking so annoying. He's going to two-shot probes in the main. So forced to evacuate the main, and more mining time lost is less units that he's going to be able to produce. The Viking lands again, this time met by an Immortal and now the Warping of Stalkers. But this is a lot of units in the main that Krystianer doesn't have at the front to answer for the push of HeroMarine. So it's all good in the hood for Big Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, these Stalkers don't have Blink just yet either, so Tank start a siege, Liberator will set up, and now you just slow push forward, and okay, you do have Blink now. Let's see what we can do with it as we actually unsiege both the tanks very quickly, moving around. Love the Stalkers. They're going to go around the side and try and hit reinforcements, I'd imagine, or come into this from a different angle. Either or, probably a great idea, right? So, love that they're already getting themselves out over there. They're going to blink straight away here. Good timing.
Very beautiful blink. Yeah, it's beautiful. It completely bypasses the Liberator. Yeah, but it's I mean, it's still, if he comes from the other side, he's not going to kill anything. Already gets rid of 2 of the tanks. The Liberator is mostly rendered useless. Of course, it's still preventing the mining here, but I think Krystianer will get the cleanup. Oh, actually steps into the Liberation Zone there, but the Liberator disengages, and yeah, Krystianer will indeed get the cleanup. HeroMarine, however, 20 supply ahead somehow.
Yeah. I mean, just because it costs Krystianer so much as well, right? Like, Krystianer used everything he had. HeroMarine's already been rebuilding behind this. He didn't lose any reinforcements either because he didn't send any across the map. The Stalkers didn't find any, free pickings. So, yeah, he's got a good army back at home. Stim kicking in. And, yeah, the Liberator's going to siege up for some probe kills as well.
Again.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Big Gabe, who's going to even kill Stalkers with that Liberator, which is really nice when you can do that.
Yeah. Not that many probe kills from Big Gabe, but if we look at the income tab, I think it's going to be a little bit nasty because there has been 2 full evacuations of the mineral line, and there it's shown. So, yeah, HeroMarine in a very good position, in spite of that very good handling of Krystianer with what he had to work with for that push.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was definitely the best case scenario for him. It's just the game is not in a great place otherwise, right? Property robo that does nothing at all, gets 1 Immortal out. Everything else that you usually find useful in these scenarios is delayed. Like, obviously, if you had like 2 or 3 Immortals at home and that's your defense against this, it would have looked way better for him as well, right? Yeah, that's the issue. So the defense was fantastic with what he had. It was just terrible because of how it started.
Exactly. Yeah, he was also dropping that third, and now I mean he does have a third to work with that HeroMarine does not yet have situated. They're almost finished as far as the CC, but can Krystianer hold on here? The Zealots do not have charge yet, so they're going to be easily kited by this bio, and Krystianer will have to tap out as his third gets sieged. HeroMarine will equalize the score here and take us to a game 3, where he looks to realize his victory, as most of us would expect he would.
Something we talked about a lot, right, is map score, though. And, even just taking a map against Gabe, Krystianer, is one of those things which is just really, really good for you, because that's something that's going to help out a lot further down the line. If it comes to tiebreakers, it could make a difference. And, Krystianer, so far, he lost to Skillers, which is not, someone else we're expecting to be at the top of this group. So Krystianer really is, even if he loses here, putting himself in a spot where you could absolutely go the distance afterward. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really tough fight between him and Mana, I think, for this 4th place, because Mana also took a map off Gabe, right? So, yeah, I mean, Krystianer's just coming out and saying, yeah, I can do what my competitor has already done. So, in this event, and in groups that are this tight and this close, stuff like that's very important. And, of course, still has a chance to win out as well, right? If he just wins this series right now, that's going to be massive for him. But even if not, that 1 map can still mean a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, we're heading onto the map that has the shortest rush distance, and it is a little bit unique of a map, right? That has that extra pocket base, the pocket half base. So maybe Krystianer has something in store here, a lot of airspace to work with. It is not, the most orthodox map for sure that we have in the map pool. So it might be the kind of landscape that he needs to try to make something wonky happen.
Absolutely. I was just trying to see if I could find Krystianer in the channel, because offline, just trying to extend him an invite, and he's in the lobby, so we'll get him going in a moment. Game 3 Moondance for the map is short, aggressive. I feel like so many of these maps are just terrifying to play HeroMarine on in TPP, but yeah, I mean, Krystianer, I think, most likely the short ones to some extent, because he could have probably gotten at least another longer map in this series if he wanted to. Yeah, you don't want to play Waterfall, but if you're letting Moondance and Inside and Out in, I feel like then there's also like probably something else further down the line you want to play, like a Tropical or so. Something like that. So, yeah. Interesting setup. Let's do game number 3. Let's dive on into it. It is Moondance, as mentioned, for the map. Let's see if that in-base expand comes into play at all, and we are going to be starting on the top left side of the map. Our red Terran player, bringing it back to a tied series, is HeroMarine.
And in the bottom right-hand side, it is the Blue Pearls player, Krystianer. And yeah, this is what we were saying at the start of the series as well. Just stylistically, these players match up kind of strangely with each other in a way that seems to favor HeroMarine, at least in my eyes. And I mean just stylistically, not, you know, like power level-wise. Just because Krystianer wants to get in your face and do weird stuff, and HeroMarine looks to punish. And like you said, it's so scary going up against him in smaller maps, and yet still it's the maps that Krystianer chooses, right? And we kind of saw a glimpse of why in the last game with that proxy robo. It didn't pan out, but it is kind of his thing. It's kind of his flair to do stuff like that.
It absolutely is. And I don't mind if, you know, you want to up against HeroMarine. If HeroMarine doesn't spot it, you know, maybe it still works out, right? Like he's scouting a Nexus and stuff. He's like, okay, Nexus. I mean, and where it's positioned as well, that's not where I would typically scout either. Because if I'm scouting and I'm like, well, I feel like there's something missing, I think that's typically expected to be a Stargate, no more than anything else, right? Like, and then why would a Stargate be down there? It doesn't really make sense. That's not near the main base. So I don't hate it. Like, it had enough kind of twists and turns to be unexpected, even if it was expected to be aggressive. So yeah, didn't hate the idea from Krystianer. Very intrigued to see what he pulls into game 3 then, see what his plan is now.
We'll see. This time around, HeroMarine is going to be dropping the expansion on site, as is Krystianer. And that will be allowed on either side, as no scouts have been had for the time being. On Krystianer's side anyway. HeroMarine will scout early on with this SCV, goes in, sees what he needs to see, and is still making a Reaper, so there's going to be a double down on the scouting there.
Yeah, I'm just going to double check and make sure you can see what is going on. So we have our Reaper coming in, replacing the SCV, take over its job. SCV gets 7 back to work on the mineral lines. There is a Stargate dropping down, so that's ideally what the Reaper would like to see right now, as the Adept commits its shade. Is zoning pretty well against the Reaper so far.
Nice.
Will shade and gets one more hit off, but that's the Reaper obviously just saying, cool, I want to go in here and I want to scout. Cool, see the Stargate, and tried to get out. He is very quick at trying to get it away, but at least Krystianer does get the kill. Makes the Reaper pay for the scouting information.
Yeah, it will gather that information, though, which is important for him. Has to be said, though, that HeroMarine did invest into that SCV scouting as well early on. So kind of doubling down, really playing like the overdog, right? Like playing like he knows he is the better player. And yeah, now Krystianer is going to be shading across the map as soon as he gets rid of that Reaper. He knows that there's no threat. So these Adepts are now king as far as mobility, and they're going to be able to get in HeroMarine's face, maybe poke at the Marines that are spawning, or just prevent further SCVs. Cancel that SCV, right, if you're HeroMarine. Oh, started, okay.
Well, nibble with those depths. I mean, Cyclone coming out, it's obviously a pretty good shutdown on this situation. And he knows it's Stargate, so he can go straight into a Viking with the Starport as well, or just build a medevac because you want to take the Marines across the map. That's also a very fun way to play this. Either side, you're looking to basically be aggressive, right? So that's the plan of action. As we got the 2 Adepts still trying to cause some chaos. The Stalker as well, so he really wants to commit to this fight. I mean, Stalker is nice because then you one-shot the Marines, but here's the Cyclone. Well, at least you take the Marines out of the equation.
Yeah, and the Locon wasn't ideal either, right? Locks onto an Adept that was mostly dead, like 75% of the way dead anyway, so the Stalker does manage to get evacuated with the recall there.
Yeah, that's nice, as we do see the Oracle diving in for an SCV. Now we lock onto the Soracle. Don't feel like the Soracle should die in that situation, but it got very close. I feel like the Oracle almost got close to the Cyclone at one point. I think it was just a change of levels. Yeah, just about gets away. Not much else you can do as HeroMarine to extend that. Yeah,
lovely job with the medevac to shade or to boost so that it can keep track of and vision of the Oracle, outputting as much damage as he could have. This base doesn't want to go down, not with a medevac right on top of it. Probe will get taken down instead. But at least that's good spotting, right, for Krystianer, so he's going to know what's coming and where.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The medevac is going to get turned away. Hit with the revelation. Can't really do much about this now. This medevac's just going to slip on away. And maybe just wait. I mean, the Vikings coming. A couple of Marines and a tank coming out. But can we get those across the map aggressively? I'm kind of tending towards the fact that we probably can't. It's like that's something that's unlikely to happen at this point.
Yeah, there is a proxy gateway out on the map for Krystianer as well, so potential for him to get a little bit aggressive with the warpins here, as Blink is about to finish. Very nice wall up from HeroMarine. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy to get multiple shots off on that tank unless you blink past that wall, in which case you can get easily punished. So very cool spacing here and very cool pseudo wall off there.
Yep, like it a lot. Just makes, again, a lot of sense, right? Just HeroMarine taking precautions early. Not letting anything really get out of hand or anything along those lines. Just making sure he's going to be able to keep control of everything that's potentially going to come his way. And Krystianer just going to take this to a third base. Charge on the way. Obviously, as the Stalkers looking for some damage, but we'll see if they can find anything as they come around to the sides. And they are looking for the blink into the main, but there's a siege tank there. There's a lot of units here. And you can see what he's doing. Like he says, oh, I'll just wait until I have my blink out before I commit. So it's very low risk, but there's just no opportunity. And in the end, he probably doesn't lose anything either. Gets a Marine, but yeah, I mean, it's still actually he's distracting himself, almost allowing this Viking to get into some damage. And now he's gone a bit too deep, so now he does give up units for not really any reason. There's no reason for him to be there with that.
Yeah, he knew the tank was there as well, so he could have been just happy with a couple of Marines that he picked off. And HeroMarine now dropping his third on location in that back third. The half base is what he's going to be using, so very, very interesting game here as Krystianer will keep up the pressure, just trying to contain HeroMarine while he takes advantage of his third base. He is a few workers ahead, and he is going for that storm once again. So, you know, that won him a game, pretty much.
Yep. That's nice, man. I like the storm. It's fun, right? Like, especially when you get those High Templars up into a prism and looking around, looking for the fun drops and all that kind of stuff. I really like that, and he was good with it before, man. He really did find the opportunities. This is the Oracle, though, and that's going to then be a little tougher to obviously make use of. So I had to kind of make use of those storms, because now you don't quite know where stuff's going to be coming from. Is Stalkers need to be careful as well. I mean, you get a tank, but you don't want to lose too much. HeroMarine has power in just the bio units as well.
Lots of Widow Mines here are going to be spotted, so good spotting does slow down HeroMarine a little bit. This is an important push for him. His third went down late, so really he was focusing mostly on production and unit production at that, so this is an important push for HeroMarine to do some damage. He's going to try to distract and bring some units to the main with that drop while the rest of his army moves on forward. The storm did finish, right?
Yeah, it did finish. I was like, it was moments away from being denied. Don't know if it matters though, does it, right? Like, this Archon's going down, there's bio forces, and a lot
There's
of...
no Templars either, so...
It's just doing too much, man. Super Battery gets depowered as well. He's got Widow Mines to help against the Zealots. The tank will get a few shots off. He doesn't care if the Stalkers run off after that tank. Krystianer types GG. HeroMarine does not let an upset happen. One map is enough.